Right now, as you're watching this, someone in your relationship is having an affair. No hotel rooms, no secret phones, no lipstick on collars, no sex, and that's exactly why neither of you sees it. Because this affair doesn't live in the body. It lives in the mind, in the emotional space between your partner and someone they have told you not to worry about. And the reason it's more dangerous than a physical affair is that by the time it becomes visible, the emotional bond has already transferred. The affair isn't starting, it's finishing, and you are the last person to know. And here's why this specific type of affair destroys more relationships than infidelity ever will. A physical affair can be confessed, confronted, and in some cases survived. It has a starting date, an identifiable act, a clear boundary that was crossed. An emotional affair has none of that. There is no movement to point to, no line that was clearly crossed, no evidence that holds up under scrutiny. Just a slow, invisible, deniable transfer of emotional intimacy from the relationship to someone outside it. And when you try to name it, when you say something about your friendship that the person doesn't feel right, you are met with the most effective defense in the history of betrayal. We are just friends. Those three words, we are just friends, have ended more marriages than any affair ever could because they don't just deny the problem, they make you the problem. They turn your instinct into insecurity, your perception into paranoia, your accurate reading of a bond that's crossed a line into proof that you are controlling, jealous, or threatened by a friendship. And so, you back down, you apologize for bringing it up, and the affair continues, protected by your silence and their denial. So today I'm going to strip the disguise of this completely, what an emotional affair actually is and how it develops without either person planning it. And the 5 signs one is happening in your relationship right now. So here's a framework that separates a friendship from an emotional affair. It's not about attraction. It's not about intention. It's about 3 specific boundary violations that, when they occur together, constitute an emotional affair regardless of what anyone calls it. Boundary number 1, emotional primacy. The person outside the relationship is receiving emotional content that should be going to the partner. For example, fears, frustrations, dreams, vulnerabilities. The raw inner world is being shared with someone who isn't the primary partner, not instead of the partner, before the partner. Boundary number 2, secrecy or minimization. The depth of the connection is being hidden, downplayed, or sanitized when discussed with the partner. Not fully lies necessarily, just careful editing, softer language, fewer details, a curated version of the truth designed to prevent alarm. Boundary number 3, comparative devaluation. The partner is being unconsciously compared to the outside person and losing. She gets me. He actually listens. I can be myself with them or him or her. These comparisons don't have to be spoken out loud. They just have to be felt. And once they are felt, the bond has already shifted. When all 3 are present, emotional primacy, secrecy, and comparative devaluation, the relationship isn't dealing with a close friendship. It's dealing with an affair that hasn't been consummated physically, but emotionally, yes, it's already complete. So let me give you an example. A man around 40, married for like 20 years, his wife developed a friendship with a colleague about a year earlier. He noticed nothing at first. They worked together, talked about projects, occasionally texted after hours. Normal. Then the texture changed. She started mentioning the colleague less, not more. She used to say his name casually. Now she didn't mention him at all. The friendship didn't shrink, it went underground. He noticed her phone behavior shift. Not dramatic. She didn't suddenly started guarding it. She just started angling the screen slightly when texting. A 5-degree tilt, almost invisible. But he saw it. One evening he asked casually, "How's work? How are things with James?" Her answer, too fast, too light, too rehearsed. Yeah, oh fine, we don't really talk that much anymore. He checked the phone bill that night. They were talking every day, 40, 30 to around 45 minutes daily, during her commute, during lunch, after he went to bed. Nothing physically happened. She would have passed any lie detector test about sexual fidelity, but when he eventually confronted her carefully, specifically, and asked her one question, "Do you talk to him about things you don't talk to me about?" She couldn't answer. The silence was a confession, not of sex, of something more intimate. She had given her inner world to someone else. And the marriage, which looked identical from the outside, had been hollowed from the inside without a single physical act. So, how does an emotional affair develop? Often without either person intending it. The mechanism is what psychologist Shirley Glass calls opening windows and closing doors. In her research on fidelity and fidelity, Glass found out that emotional affairs follow a predictable architectural pattern. The person begins to open an emotional window with someone outside the relationship, sharing more, connecting deeper, revealing more of their inner world. Simultaneously and unusually unconsciously, they begin to close the emotional door to their partner, sharing less, revealing less, creating a wall where window used to be. The key finding is that this process is not planned, it's gradual. It begins with legitimate friendship, genuine connection, shared interests, mutual understanding. But at some point, usually when the primary relationship is experiencing an emotional deficit, the friendship crosses an invisible threshold. The outside person starts receiving the emotional energy that the primary relationship is starving for. And the brain, which doesn't care about moral categories, simply follows the dopamine. The outside person provides emotional reward that the primary relationship doesn't. And the brain redirects investment toward the higher reward source. Automatically, without a meeting, without a decision, without anyone saying, "I am going to have an emotional affair." This is why the person having the emotional affair almost always genuinely believes they haven't done anything wrong, because they didn't plan it, they didn't pursue it, they didn't chose it the way someone chooses to book a hotel room, for example. It just happened. One conversation at a time, one emotional bid redirected at a time, until the outside person became the primary emotional partner. And the actual partner became the roommate who doesn't know they have been replaced. Researcher John Gottman adds a critical layer. He found that the emotional affairs almost always begin during a period of emotional disengagement in the primary relationship. When emotional bids are consistently missed, when conversations have become logistical, when the connection has shifted from intimate to operational, the affair doesn't cause the disconnection creates the conditions for the affair. And the person having it isn't looking for excitement, they are looking for the one thing their relationship stopped providing: the experience of being emotionally received. So there are 5 signs an emotional affair is happening in your relationship right now, and the person involved may not even know it's an affair. Sign number 1. A name has gone from frequent to invisible. They used to mention this person casually. Now the name has disappeared from conversations entirely. Not because the friendship ended, because the friendship deepened beyond what's comfortable to share. When someone stops talking about a person they are clearly still in contact with, the silence isn't absence, it's concealment. And concealment of a friendship's depth is the first behavioral marker of an emotional affair. You don't hide things that are innocent. You hide things that have crossed a line you don't want to acknowledge. Sign number 2. Their phone behavior has developed micro changes, not the dramatic version. Password changes, phone guarding, taking calls in another room, the subtle version, a slight screen angle, a quicker swipe when a notification appears, a half-second pause before showing you something on their phone. The pause where they scan the screen for anything that needs to be hidden first. These micro changes are unconscious. The person doing them usually doesn't realize they have started it, but their nervous system knows. It knows the phone now contains something that would change how you see the friendship, and it has begun protecting the fawn accordingly, not through locks, through postures. Sign number 3. They have become emotionally unavailable to you but can't explain why. They are distant, preoccupied, present, but not really there. You ask, what's wrong? Nothing. You try to connect. They are responsive but flat. The emotional energy that used to flow toward you has been redirected, and the void is left is the distance you are feeling. They are not withholding from you intentionally. They have simply spent their emotional bandwidth elsewhere. And by the time they come home to you, there is nothing left. The outside person got the engaged version. You got the depleted one. And you can feel the difference even if you can't prove it. Sign number 4, they defend the friendship with disproportionate intensity. You mention gently, carefully that the friendship seems close, and the response is immediate, sharp, and outsized. Why are you so insecure? You are being ridiculous. I'm not allowed to have friends. The intensity of the defense is diagnostic. A person with a genuinely clean conscience responds to concern with reassurance. That I understand why that might worry you, but here's what's actually happening. A person protecting an emotional affair responds with counterattack because the accusation landed too close to a truth they haven't admitted to themselves yet. So the defense isn't proportional to the accusation, it's proportional to the guilt. And disproportionate defenses, it is the behavioral signature of someone who knows at a level they want access that the line has been crossed. Sign number 5, you feel crazy for feeling what you feel. And this is the definitive sign. You know something is off. You feel it in your chest every time they mention this person, or you don't mention them yourself. You feel it in the texture of your evenings. Something has been withdrawn that used to be there. But when you try to name it to yourself or to them, you can't produce evidence. There is no proof, no screenshot, no caught movement, just a feeling. And that feeling, that persistent, low-grade, unshakable sense that your relationship is being shared with someone who hasn't been invited, that feeling is not paranoia. It's your nervous system detecting a structural shift that your conscious mind hasn't been given permission to see. Trust it. It detected the shift before the evidence arrived, and by the time the evidence arrives, the affair will be complete. So here's the truth that both people in this dynamic need to hear. To the person having the emotional affair, you haven't done nothing wrong. You have redirected the most intimate currency in your relationship, your emotional inner world, to someone outside it. You haven't shared your body, you have shared something more private, your fears, your dreams, your dissatisfaction, the parts of yourself that your partner has been starving to access. You gave them to someone else. And the fact that no clothes came off doesn't make it less of a betrayal. It makes it a betrayal your partner can't even grieve properly because you have denied them the clarity of knowing what was taken. So to the person feeling it, trust yourself. Your instinct is not insecurity. Your gut is not jealousy. The feeling that something has shifted is not evidence that you are controlling. It's evidence that you are perceptive. And the most dangerous thing you can do right now is apologize for your own perception. Because the moment you stop trusting what you feel, the affair gains the only protection it needs, your silence. So if you recognize this pattern from either side, the repair starts with one act of radical honesty. If you are the one with the outside connection, ask yourself one question you have been avoiding. Do I share things with this person that I don't share with my partner? If the answer is yes, the affair is real, regardless of what you call it. And the next step isn't to end the friendship dramatically. It's to reopen the door to your partner that you have been quietly closing. Bring them what you have been bringing to someone else. Your fears, your frustrations, your unfiltered inner world. If the primary relationship can receive it, the outside friendship will naturally return to its proper depth. If it can't, then the relationship has a problem that existed before the affair. And that problem deserves direct confrontation, not outsourcing. If you are the one feeling it, name it without accusation. I feel it, I feel like there is an emotional space in your life that I used to occupy and I don't anymore. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm telling you what I feel and I need to know if you feel it too. That sentence doesn't start a fight, it starts a conversation that the affair has been preventing. And the response to that sentence will tell you everything. Whether the door can be reopened or whether it was closed so long ago that neither of you noticed until now. An emotional affair doesn't need a hotel room to destroy a marriage. It just needs a conversation that should have happened at home, but happened somewhere else instead. One conversation, then another, then 1,000, until the person who was supposed to know you best knows you least. And the person who was supposed to be a friend became the keeper of everything your partner was never given. If that's your relationship right now, the affair isn't the problem, the affair is the symptom. The problem is the emotional vacancy inside the relationship that created the space for someone else to fill. Fill it yourself or lose it to someone who already has it. I'll see you in the next video.